I wonder how somebody, after all the profession, you will choose to be a catwalk instructor. Did you just wake up and tell your parents, Mommy, Daddy, I want to be a catwalk instructor? I want to understand, how did you even get to, how? Please talk to me, sir. Let me ask you a question that is in the mind of a lot of people. Are you a gay?
It was supposed to be the first question.
No, let's keep it at this level. So you have never find anyone interested to say, okay.
And I will go give me money way past Tinubu money. Now I go
So eventually, if somebody, hold on, let's have this conversation. So eventually, if somebody finally brings a certain amount of money and say, and this is the amount we should be giving to you. Eventually, there's room for that. Is that what you're saying?
That money cannot. The money cannot exist. That is one thing. The money cannot exist.
But what if the money exists?
Okay, till then.
We'll see. Let me ask you this: do men approach you?
Very, very important. Actually, a lot. At some point, I used to get some free drinks because I love strong drinks, all these vodka. So sometimes at the point, I get some free drinks. I'll be ready to just say, come and go and give the catwalk instructor. After that, I get some funny interaction and everything. It's allowed. I know how to deal with all that.
So which means as a man,
yeah,
you do get, men do see you attractive. Is that what you're saying?
Sometimes.
We watch your videos. We see you do all kinds of things, wearing heels. I don't know. How is that going for me?
I was not born on heels. Initially, I was not actually wearing heels while grooming. I think the reason why I started wearing heels, I wanted this level of professionalism in what I do. So I can't be coaching models then going on imaginary heels while they are wearing proper heels.
Now, if somebody looks at you, the way you behave, the way you act, these things, is it kind of like a kind of two way of living, where you have the part where you do more like a woman, girls, the other parts, how is it? How do you, or is this just who you are? Because we definitely need to know.
You definitely know me out of, when I'm on stage and when I'm out of stage. If you see me without heels, like, I'm from the streets. You all know I'm from the streets. So if you see me without heels, I look like a serious bad boy. So, but if I'm actually on stage, so it's a thing of character. I switch sometimes. I enter the role and then I'll just switch. Though sometimes I used to forget myself. I'll say, I'm not on stage, yo. I'm supposed to. This is me. This is my street vibes. I'm a thespian, so I know how to let business be business, and then let pleasure be pleasure. If you want to last in the industry, carry scandal away from what you're doing. Nobody will ever tell you, I've been into the industry for over a decade. Nobody will ever say, I had this, both male and female models. Nobody can say, Chris Diamond harassed me once. Chris Diamond did this once. Nobody. So if I need any sexual pleasure, I know where to get that from. Business is business and pleasure is pleasure.
Let's talk about your mom. I know you're very close to your mom.
Yeah.
Is she also comfortable seeing you doing all of this?
Initially, none of my family members were actually comfortable with what I do. But when I started traveling, because right from my school days, I started doing the catwalk on a very small scale. Almost everybody was against it. But I got a lot of deals from there. I schooled at Nsukka, University of Nigeria, Nsukka. So I traveled a lot from there. I was going to Port Harcourt, Lagos. From time, I don't pay for my traveling allowance. My girls do. From there, it started getting better. And if your mom could actually call you and then say, I need money, then you know that this is what I'm doing and you're making money from it. Then, at a point, you could even see some of her pictures. She does photo shoots with me and the rest. So she's comfortable now, but it wasn't actually easy until she saw the business aspect of it. At a point, maybe we'll be at home, someone will call me for a business call and say, how much should you take out? Maybe as of 3 years back, I'll say 500k. They'll say, please, can you do it for 300k? And she would listen to the conversation. I say, what are they pricing 300k for this work? I say, actually, it's
nah, tell me where they work. She feel even carry heels. Don't you say, As you all know, this is a program where we bring the matter unscripted and talk about it the way it is. This one is going to be totally different because we're going to be talking intensively on his profession. We have with me here Chris Diamond, as he's popularly known. He will introduce himself more. And of course, he's also a catwalk instructor. I wonder how somebody, after all the profession, you will choose to be a catwalk instructor. Of course, let's get to meet him. Mr. Chris, finally you are here. Just so that you are not going anywhere. Tell us your name and let's get to meet you.
Okay, I go by the name Chris Diamond. The street calls me the Ashawo vibes of Abuja. The industry calls me Abuja's finest catwalk instructor. So I'm just being myself here.
I have a question I want to ask. You know, like we say, it's unscripted.
Yeah.
And it's unfiltered. So everything we are talking here is just the way it is from the mind. Tell us, how did you, after all the profession, did you just wake up and tell your parents, Mommy, Daddy, I want to be a catwalk instructor? I want to understand, how did you even get to, how? Please talk to this, sir.
Growing up, I had this passion for arts and entertainment. I love art, I love culture, I love creative arts in general. So I used to be a dancer. I used to be a dancer from my primary school days, then down to my secondary school days. I've always been a dancer. Then when I got admission into the University of Nigeria in Nsukka to study theater and media arts, so I developed this passion. I actually started grooming people, managing their costume, their wardrobe and all that. Then over time, I started getting bigger and better. Then I started grooming. If I'm costuming you, I'll have to try to manage your wardrobe, your votes, and then your catwalk session. I watch videos online. I was just doing it on a small scale while doing my other business because I love business. I love money right from when I used to be a kid. So I was just doing it on a small scale until after school. I went for my NYC, then I came back. I tried to work, like sitting in the office space setting for about 9 months. I was not feeling myself. I felt like I was being caged. The salary was kind of small and I was not really free. And I know I'm a bird. I'm supposed to fly.
Fly like a bird.
So I had to relocate from Lagos. Before relocating from Lagos, I said, okay, I checked the industry. I actually look at the industry from the Lagos point of view. The competition was actually too much. Abuja was see a virgin land as of 2019. So I said, let me move over to this side. Then started doing what I used to do while I was still in school. Back then, before they organized any pageant in school, Miss Faculty of Arts, Miss University of Nigeria and Nsukka, Miss Theater and Film Studies, I'm always the one fronting the program. So I came back with that force. After working for about 9 months, I used to be a massage therapist. So I worked in a spa for about 9 months as the manager, coordinating other therapists. I was not feeling myself. I had to just pull myself out. Then relocate to Abuja, enter the fashion and entertainment industry. And by the grace of God, I'm seeing positive results. I sleep when I want to sleep. I work when I want to work. I think I prefer it better than working for anybody.
Let's talk about the catwalk instructor that you are.
Yeah.
We watch your videos. We see you do all kinds of things, wearing heels. I don't know. How is that going for you?
It's going very well. Like I'll say, I was not born on heels. Initially, I was not actually wearing heels while grooming. But sometimes the rehearsal, I used to stretch my rehearsals 3 to 4 hours. The girls would complain that it's because you're not wearing heels. I started with 2 inches. From there, block heels. Then from there, I got to 3, 4 inches, 5, 6, I enter pencil. And currently, I use 9 and 12 inches while grooming my girls. So I think the reason why I started wearing heels, I wanted this level of professionalism in what I do. So I can't be coaching models, then going on imaginary heels while they are wearing proper heels. That was the reason.
Let me ask you a question that is in the mind of a lot of people. Are you a gay?
Sister, it was supposed to be the first question.
No, let's keep it at this level.
Okay. No, I'm not gay.
You're not a gay.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody looks at you, the way you behave, the way you act, these things is it kind of like a kind of two way of living where you have the part where you do more like a woman, girls, the other parts, how is it? How do you, or is this just who you are? Because we definitely need to know.
You definitely know me out of when I'm on stage and when I'm out of stage. If you see me without heels, like I'm from the streets. You all know I'm from the streets. So if you see me without heels, I look like a serious bad boy. So, but if I'm actually on stage, so it's a thing of character. I switch sometimes. I enter the role and then I'll just switch. Though sometimes I used to forget myself. I'll say, I'm not on stage, yo. I'm supposed to. This is me. This is me. This is my street vibes.
Another question I want to ask you: how do you deal with ladies? Because you're somebody who, a lot of ladies are around you. How do you deal with them, especially when it comes to self-control? Should I say, do you sleep with your girls, or how does it?
You say, how do I put it? It's a thing of the mindset. When it comes to pleasure, anything pleasure, it's a thing of the mindset. I love professionalism. Even the pageant directors I work with and the pageant owners I work with, before coming in, if you want me to either come as a catwalk instructor or come as a pageant consultant, I always try to let people know. Let business be business, and then let pleasure be pleasure. That is part of the thing that is keeping me, like, if you bring other male catwalk instructors, this particular point of view, this is one of my, I call it my onion. I know how to manage my emotion. I keep telling my models and my both my adult and kid models, if you want to last in the industry, carry scandal away from what you're doing. Nobody will ever tell you, I've been into the industry for over a decade. Nobody will ever say, I had this, both male and female models. If nobody can say, Chris Diamond harassed me once, Chris Diamond did this once. Nobody. So if I need any sexual pleasure, I know where to get that from. Business is business and pleasure is pleasure. I'm a thespian, so I know how to
go around your way. Well, how do you do? Let me ask you this: do men approach you?
Very, very important. Actually, a lot, especially when, most of my rehearsals, we do our rehearsals on an open, like, poolside, different hotel poolside. If I'm camping for the Nigerian Carnival Queen or Miss United Nigeria International, being the nature of the pageant is always around the poolside. Face of Nigerian models a lot, either by the poolside or the lounge. So we do our rehearsals in an open space. While you're doing your rehearsals, people have different things running in their mind. At some point, I used to get some free drinks because I love strong drinks, all these vodka. So sometimes at the point, I get some free drinks. I'll be rehearsing. We just say, come and go and give the catwalk instructor. After that, I get some funny interaction on everything. It's allowed. I know how to deal with all that.
So which means as a man,
yeah,
you do get, men do see you attractive. Is that what you're saying?
Sometimes.
So you have never find anyone interested to say, okay.
And I will go give me money way past Tinubu money. Then I go fee.
So eventually, if somebody no, hold on now, let's have this conversation. So eventually, if somebody finally brings a certain amount of money and say, Chris Diamond, and this is the amount we should be giving to you. Eventually, there's room for that. Is that what you're saying?
That money cannot. The money cannot exist. That is one thing. The money cannot exist.
But what if the money exists?
Okay, till then, you see.
Well, I like how this conversation is going. But meanwhile, let's step aside from this. How do you being a catwalk instructor, do you think is something you will encourage somebody to go into?
Hey,
or would you want your son to go into the same profession you're going to learn now?
Why not? But I can't possibly choose for my kids. Personally, I don't even want to. I just want to have two beautiful, if it's by my own way, I want to have just two beautiful daughters. So, but I would not, as I would train them from right from their teenage age down to, so whatever they choose to do. Sometimes we don't really tell our kids what we want them to do. They grow up to choose who they want to become and choose what they want to do. But if you ask me, instead of wearing suits and sitting in the banks, hawking pure water and the rest, being a catwalk instructor is super, super sweet. The lifestyle, the money, yeah, I have the passion, but any passion without money, count me out too, because I like money very well. Getting a booking, like a day booking, 2 days booking, or if you're going for a week camp, you get to you see people, you start billing people in millions. They start begging you, please collect 600k, collect 500k. So something of, and my mates, we finished school around 2016, then went for service 2017, 2018. My mates are still struggling. I'm not trying to downplay. I'm not just trying to whine some people, but with being a catwalk instructor, I know how many lands I've acquired. I know, and where I'm living in my own personal building, and it's not just anyhow. Like, I have taste. So I think it's something in my next life I want to do it again.
Okay. So
I only wished I started earlier, because by now, I know for the international leagues are for the run.
so what you're telling us is wearing heels paid.
Very well.
Nah, more than 5 me heels. More than 5 me heels. Maybe I will begin to do my own, But of course, you have mentioned that, of course, there is a lot of prospects in it, which is the key part of it.
Yeah.
And of course, it's good. And let's talk about your mom. I know you're very close to your mom.
Yeah.
Is she also comfortable seeing you doing all of this?
Initially, none of my family members were actually comfortable with what I do. But at a certain stage, when they talk about money in the family, forget, no matter what you're doing, even if you're not stealing, you're not a prostitute, like, you're not embarrassing yourself, because at the long run, it's not seeing the positive aspect of it. Nobody actually liked it. But when I started traveling, because right from my school days, I started doing the catwalk on a very small scale. Almost everybody was against it. But I got a lot of deals from there. I schooled at Nsukka, University of Nigeria, Nsukka. So I traveled a lot from there. Then I was going to Port Harcourt, Lagos. From them, I don't pay for my traveling allowance. My girls do. From there, it started getting better. And if your mom could actually call you and then say, I need money, then you know that this is what I'm doing and you're making money from it. Then, at a point, you could even see some of her pictures. She does photo shoots with me and the rest. So she's comfortable now, but it wasn't actually easy until she saw the business aspect of it. At a point, maybe she will be at home. Someone will call me for a business call and say, how much would you take out? Maybe as of 3 years back, I'll say 500k. They'll say, please, can you do it for 300k? She would listen to the conversation. I say, what are they pricing 300k for this work? Actually, it's
where they work. She feel even carry heels, join you say, wow, that is really, really encouraging. Meanwhile, we're almost rounding up. What would you say to young people watching you, people who also hope to go into this, people who are trying to go into this but the parents are against them? What would you tell them?
All I have to say to the viewers out there, the fashion and the modeling industry is super duper interesting. It's just all about how you see it, your perspective, your mindset. Everybody coming into the industry, they have a particular mindset. Some ladies are coming into the industry because they have this mindset that they will easily meet men while walking on the runway. While some guys are coming with the mindset that they will easily see sugar mommies and sugar daddies. But if you have a very positive mindset, you know where you are heading to. My dear, just give it time. Consistency is the key. And then your rehearsals, get all your working tools. Just set a standard, a pace. With time, you will be there.
Thank you very much, Chris Diamond. You guys have heard what he said. He said consistency. First of all, you have to have passion for what you do.
Yes.
And when you are passionate and you are consistent, definitely you will see
Then
professionalism very, very important. Because without professionalism,
and try to detach emotion from your job.
okay. Thank you very much, Chris Diamond. We actually enjoyed this section. I think what we've been able to ask you is what is in the mind of a lot of people. So we've been able to take this burden out from them. People who want to ask you, are you a gay? Now they can hear you from your mouth that, no, I'm not. Yeah. People who feel that, okay, that men could approach you, they are fair. In as much as that, you said when they have the bigger rappers, possibility is there. But of course, what do we say? Thank you very much for joining us in this episode of the Unfiltered Dialogue. See you on our next episode. But just in case this is the first time you are seeing me on this section, kindly follow on all social media platforms. My name is Sirimen Lawrence Okeke Okweleme 1 Nananri.
Once again, I'm Chris Diamond. The street calls me Asheo Vibes of Abuja, and the industry calls me Abuja's finest Catwalk instructor. Stay tuned.
Una bye.
My boy, habla Mónica, yo voy. Negativo y me voy.